going, I've got the list of things we're gonna talk through. So,
Yeah.
Zane, thanks for taking some time to chat. What's this all about? What are we
Well,
doing?
first, thanks for you reaching out. I was pretty excited when I saw that because I've, sort of had the same thing brewing in the back of my head for a while. Just like, there's got to be some other accountants that can just have a conversation.
Another thing that we kind of came up with together is like talking about daily focus, especially as a business owner. Like, how do we set aside time for our daily focus? So would love to hear your thoughts on daily focus.
Like the structure of your day, or just like what you do in a day? Like, what do you want to focus on? Yeah.
Let's start with, what does a day in the life of Zane look like as business owner?
Yeah. So one of the things to take into account with, when I start saying this is like, because it can easily sound like, those crazy influences, like you got to do this every day to be successful.
Right.
A lot of what drives my day is, one, I have an office in a different continent, and two, I have young kids that I want to spend a ton of time with. So those are sort of two of the things that drive what my day looks like, and it does look different to a normal person's day. Part of that is I start work every day at 4:25 a.m.
Holy cow.
So I roll out of bed, I head straight to my laptop, and I get working. The main sort of reasoning behind that, it is great to have time crossing over with my team. So if they have urgent questions, I can deal with them. But the major reason why I started was so that I can have phone calls with them. And I generally take those phone calls at 5 a.m., 2 p.m. their time. And it's just an opportunity to talk to them without taking any time out of their personal life. So that's sort of what drives it. And then I sort of focus in it. I generally work from 4:25 to 6:30. I then, depending if I've got school drop off or not, I really start again 7:45, 8 o'clock, and I run through to 4 o'clock. Then it's family time, and then I'm generally back online at 8:30 at night, where I'm catching up on emails, editing videos, writing LinkedIn posts, that type of stuff. At night as well. So I generally have these 3 shifts, where early morning, very much let's help the team get their answers done. It's time for them. The middle of the day is where I'm focusing on my review, my business development, having lunches with people, going to conferences, that type of stuff. And then the evening time, it's really just like time when I need to do concentration work, where being interrupted is not very helpful. Much to the disgust of my wife. He's like, "This is my time as well, remember." I can talk.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like if I had taken that approach of doing evening times, at least for this juncture of our lives, I think my wife would die. She'd be like, "I need to spend time with you."
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing it for a long time this way, and though it does sort of eat into like what would generally be seen as personal time, it's making sure that we find opportunities to connect in other points in the day. So, post-COVID, it's been a little harder, but we try to get a date night in very often. Get a sitter in, just go out and just spend time together. 9 out of 10 times, it's just having dinner, talking to each other, following up on things. But also, we find the time. We obviously both work for the same company. We're generally working from home as well, so we can connect during the day all the time. Either sometimes about work stuff, but other times it's just like, hey, I want to pop in. I've got this evening. This kid's got to be there. That kid's got to be there. What are we going to do? How are we going to cross? So we're able to knock out a lot of the personal stuff. But my development of my day is really so that I can get as much time with my family, and it's uninterrupted time. I mean, the one thing I realized that when I moved to the US, people do a lot of work between 3 and 5 in the afternoon. Like it seems like that's the time where people, like, I think they do all their meetings in the morning, like now we're catching up.
Yeah.
So I know when I've originally like instituted very hard, like I stop work at 4, like people are like, why can't you respond to my emails? I'm like, I will, like, I'm just not going to take a call at 4 o'clock. You can try to call me. I'm not going to answer. I'm hanging out with my kids, or I'm going for a run, or, I'm doing something, I'm coaching most likely as well. And it's just creating that period of time, which is 4.5 hours every day, where it's like, this is family time.
That's so good. And I love that you have the structure in place and like the cadence, because I think that's really what it comes down to is like, it's probably not like a hard and fast rule. I'm sure some days look a little bit different, but there's a general, like, I guess like routine, if you will, where it's like, okay, these are my normal chunks to get certain types of work done. And, I have similarities. There's some similarities, quite a bit of differences, but some similarities in that for me, I'm also an early riser. I'm not a 4:30 early riser, but funny enough, like we're probably awake around the same time because you're 2 hours behind me. But usually I'm waking up between 5:15 and 5:45 because I try to hit the gym before the girls wake up. For those who don't know, I have 3 very young children, all under the, well, now one that's 2-year-old and 2 that are about to be 1. We've got twins. But yeah, I try to do some workout in the morning because like I just find like my mental health is so much better if I've had some time to go for a run or to lift weights. And so I like to do that in the morning. And if it's, I'm not really feeling the gym that morning, I'll probably just go for a walk if it's a nice day. And what I find to be really helpful, especially on those walking days, is, after I have some quiet time to just like pray and read the Bible and stuff like that, what I'll do is I'll then quickly transition into ideation stage. I find that I'm most creative like right away early in the morning. So people are like, man, I see you posting consistently on LinkedIn. And I'm like, guys, I've got like a little over a month out of content posted that I've already have written, because I just take that morning time to just like, when I'm most creative and I'm, reflecting on my day, to just take that and turn it into like some type of social media content. I also think about and dream about like how I can be adding more value to my clients, and also like what the greatest needs are for the day in that morning time. And then like you, I try to take a little bit of a break to spend, helping get the girls up, get them fed and ready. And then I hop back on. We started this at 10:30 my time, which is perfect because the girls were already ready to go for the day. And yeah, and I'll do some more focus work. I think for me, what I've been finding recently is, now that we have a pretty good system and a routine for the clients that I already have, and I have an accountant who is amazing, very self-motivated, self-directed, I kind of just let her run with stuff. And then it frees me up to focus on the relationship aspect and the advisory aspect and the sales and marketing. So I'm doing like most of my time, I'm just trying to spend on sales and marketing for my business.
Yeah, I mean, I think what was good there, right, is, and what we both have, is that I think routine is so important, and creating it. And, again, like I said, that's my structure of the day. What happens in between those periods look very different every day, just depending on where we are in the month in terms of, what's going on in around the world around us. It's summer, so it's a different, ball game as well, even though I'm trying to work the same hours. I always try to talk to my team about planned flexibility. Have a general structure that works for you. So in the days when you do need to sort of jump off and go watch a sports game, or you have to go to a doctor's appointment, it's okay, because you've got a structure in place that you can sort of still do your work, take the time off, and not stress about it, because you've got most of your work done in that plan. It's just people who sort of like, I love flexibility, so I'll work when I can. And like, no, you have to work and figure out how everything else fits in. And that's understanding what you want to do. Like, you want to go to the gym in the morning, like, great. You plan that in your day. You're not going to be like, well, I love to go to gym in the morning, so I'm going to set up a 5:30 call every day. Like, no, that doesn't work, because it's not what you want to be doing. I prefer to exercise at night. Like, I'd rather finish work at 4 and be like, hey, I'm going to go run for half an hour. See you guys soon. I'm going to go into the garage and work out a little bit. That one's ideal, because the kids just follow me in and we get working out together. But it's understanding what to do it and knowing yourself. Like you said, like, creative stuff is really good for you in the morning. I do my best writing at night.
Oh, interesting.
I do all my social media posting on a Saturday afternoon. It's different for all of us. And if you've got a bunch of stuff, I've just got the next week.
Yeah.
Sort of every week, I'm just like, I've got a general, train of thoughts, but I don't have anything planned out. Like, as I sit here right now, I have no idea what will be on my social media next week.
Is that right?
I mean, I have the same sort of thought process every week, like in terms of content that I want to share, but I have no idea what those pieces look like. I don't know what I'm going to say. we'll figure it out over the weekend. And this weekend will be even interesting because I don't have a spare second on Saturday, so I'm probably going to do it on Sunday at a different time slot, probably really early in the morning, because I know, it's a 4th of July weekend. It's going to be it's going to be a busy one. There's going to be a bunch of stuff happening, but I'll find time to do it.
That's super interesting. But even in both of our situations, we're both still writing content. We both still have some type of routine. And again, that's at least my biggest takeaway is like having some type of routine that works for you. And on also just recognizing too that like, unlike being an employee where there is an expectation that you're there from, call it like 8:30 to 5 or 9 to 5 or whatever. Being a business owner means you're finding time to do the work in the places that make most sense for your life. Like, because you have you can call those shots, but you also do need to make some type of sacrifices to keep the ball rolling and moving forward.
Yeah. And, the one difference between being an owner and being a team member or an employee is, as an employee, you can sort of shut off, like, cool, I'm done for my day.
That's
like,
right.
Realistically, my business is in the back of my mind 24/7, 365.
Same here.
Even if I don't have my laptop, even if I'm the worst is like I'll go for a run on a trail for a couple of hours and come back. I've got 50 ideas for the business. I don't remember thinking about them, but yeah, they are so it is constantly in the back of your head on sort of how can I get better? How can we help more people? How can we improve the environment for our team? How can we improve community? Like those things are always running through your head. So maybe it affords us the opportunity to be like, hey, I can focus on my family and do it when I want because I'm probably still thinking about work, even if it is just subconsciously.
Yeah. Or like, I don't know if you do this, but like our nightly routine is after dinner, I'm washing the dishes while the girls are, playing and stuff. And I find that doing the dishes is a great time to think about my next week's social media post or like my social media posts going forward, or like other things about my business. And cause that's like quote unquote, like my time. Cause I'm focused on washing the dishes. So again, probably not stuff that you really think a lot about if you're, able to unplug as a team member at the end of the day. You can leave work at work. As an owner, you're just always thinking about it.
Yeah. Agreed. I use cooking time as my time to sort of have those thoughts. Like that's my time. My family knows like I'm winding down, maybe, put on an audiobook, whatever it is. But there's a lesson in that as well. Like, for everybody, like, sometimes your most creative, your most problem solving will be as you have an idea in the back of your head and you're doing something what is seen as just mundane.
Right.
You're almost not having to focus on what you're doing. Like washing dishes, there's not a lot of focus in that, right? In cooking, I'm not like following some complicated recipe. I'm chucking some stuff in a pan and just making sure it's healthy enough for the family.
Right.
So my brain can then concentrate on some of the bigger problems that I'm trying to deal with.
I love that. I love it.